Chapter 46. Grand Stage, Dimension Zero. We appeared in a flash of white light atop a platform floating in the sky. Around us, I could see 4 other platforms in the distance, each an equal length from each other, and from the central platform. The outer 4 platforms were pyramids, the top point pointed downward, allowing us to stand on the flat side. The central platform was circular, and seated upon it were 4 thrones for Xenos and 4 Grand Ministers. My eyes went to each of the 3 other platforms, and from this distance, I could see others standing upon them, but I couldn't sense anything from them. I looked around at our own platform, noticing Beerus sitting on the white granite bleachers, his hands beneath his chin, his elbows resting on his knees. Sitting next to him is someone I've never met before, but is clearly a Kai. I try using Observe, but nothing shows up at all. My HUD is still functioning, and a quick check shows that the gamer's mind is still active. But for some reason, Observe isn't working. I file that away for the moment, and continue looking around at everyone on the platform. Whis, I ask, getting his attention. Where is our teammate? Oh yes, of course. Whis replies, brandishing his scepter. How silly of me to almost forget. One moment while I collect him. The scepter flashes, the gem on top seeming to open into an infinite expanse. From within, for but a moment, I'm able to see a world that doesn't exist. There is a loud crack, an explosion of light, and standing before me is someone I never expected to see again. Rage consumes me, and for a moment I lose all control. My fist slams into Whis' scepter, which he used to quickly block my sudden attack. Where before it would have stopped me instantly, I actually managed to push past it, giving me a second attempt at attacking. I feel a hand grab the back of my armor, yanking me back. KLL, stop, Broly says, holding me back. We need every bit of help we can get. Ignoring him, I turn back to my foe. How are you still alive? I yell, rage consuming me. Why, I survived thanks to you, KLL. Majin Buu replies, a smirk spreading across his entire face. You see, when you first appeared on the battlefield, you cut off my head and launched it away. What you clearly did not understand is that as long as a small piece of me survives, I can regrow the rest of my body. He replies, before reaching down and ripping off his own finger. He tosses the finger to the ground, which quickly grows into another Majin Buu. We are separate entities with separate thoughts. If I die, he lives. If he dies, I live. The new Majin Buu says. When you cut my head off, and it regrew into another me, it didn't come to join the fight. It took the time to absorb a few of your race before the explosion that killed the original me destroyed the planet. I was a good distance away by then, and so I survived the explosion. The first Majin Buu walks up, placing a hand on the second one's shoulder. He's absorbed into the body of the first. He then continues on. I awoke sometime later on a wild planet. I was quite happy to be alive, as I was sure the explosion was killing me. Majin Buu explains. Since then, I have seeded every planet I have landed on with a piece of me, so that I will live on forever. Why you what? I ask, taken aback. That's right, Scion. I learned my lesson the first time. I am not all powerful, as your friends showed. I can still be destroyed. But now, no matter how much of me you destroy, there is still a piece of me out there hidden away. He replies, laughing. I have to make the decision consciously to have a piece of me regrow, or die. Then a piece at random will grow into another me, and continue on. You knew about this? I asked, turning to face Beerus. Is this why you locked me from Otherworld? Partially. North Kai realized he was still alive immediately. I removed him and his planet, so you would have no way to find out. He never had a chance to tell anyone else, so I don't think Shin ever knew. Beerus answers lazily. In fact, KLL, a piece of me is on your new planet. What is it called? Planet Scion. Buu says, laughing in my face. I've just woken it up. While we're all here, it's going to absorb the entirety of your race, one by one, for the insult they dealt me last time. I'm going to kill you, Majin Buu. Piece by piece, I will end your existence. As for the piece on Planet Scion, I can promise you that it will find itself facing a far greater challenge than you did last time. I reply, shaking with rage. Leave it be, brat, Beerus says, waving his hand at me dismissively. Win the tournament, and then you're free to do as you please. I'm going to dash, I start, but am interrupted. Excuse me? If I may have everyone's attention, please? A loud voice rings in our ears. I turn to face the central platform, as our own platform begins to float inward. They come to a rest a few feet away from the central platform, the other 3 platforms floating on either side of our own. From here, I get my first look at who I'm up against. Where I had expected maybe Jiren, Goku, and Vegeta, like in Dragonball Super, I was very much surprised by what I saw. The platform on our right side has Whis, Beerus, Shin, and Namekian, and Bara, I whisper, seeing my friend standing there. To my left, 2 other platforms. The closest has Whis, Shin, an unknown frost demon, and some type of monster. Tall, nearly 8 feet tall, covered in golden scales and spikes. No Beerus, however. The furthest one, perhaps the most surprising of all, has an unknown Scion, Sana, and Majin Buu. I tried sensing their energy and using Observe, but neither seemed to be working. I could sense the energy of those on my platform, but no one else. On our platform. Way to fucking minute. I think, whipping around to face Whis and Beerus. Where the fuck is Shin? I growl, stalking forward. Shut up, idiot. The Grand Minister is trying to talk to us. Beerus hisses at me. Answer the question. I growl back. KLL, please, Whis says, looking at me. I'll explain in a moment. Just be Pat Dash. Is there an issue here? We all hear from the near front. We all turn, seeing one of the 4 Grand Ministers staring at us. No Grand Minister. Everything here is quite all right, Whis replies, bowing. Very well, he replies before floating back to their group. In 30 standard minutes, the timeline tournament will begin. Until that time, I'd suggest getting to know your timeline counterparts. At the end of this, they will no longer exist. At these words, I see several of the others move off together, while I whirled around to face Beerus and Whis. Where is Shin? I ask as Broly steps up beside me. I'll answer this, Lord Beerus. The fat Kai says, approaching the group. And who the fuck are you? I ask brusquely. I am Daikeo, Grand Supreme Kai of Universe 7 Scion. Shin and his attendant Kibito are no more. They were derelict in their duty and were removed for it. He says before turning back to Beerus. Really, Lord Beerus, you shouldn't let them talk to you like that. Are you serious? I ask, nearly taking a step back. All they did was help me? That's right, brat. I told him you were to receive no help, and he disobeyed. After Whis found out that Daikeo's energy still remained within Majin Buu, it was simple enough to extract it and bring him back to life. Beerus replies, I can feel my anger rising again, but I know that right now there is nothing I can do about it. I start to reply, but am interrupted once more. Hey, new guy. A voice calls from another platform. I turn around to see the unknown Scion calling to me. Come join us over here, he says, waving me over. I consider ignoring it for now, but realize that he called me new guy, and my curiosity is piqued. I'll be back, Broly. Feel free to talk to some of the others, I say, before hopping into the air and landing on the other platform. I land a few feet away from the Frost Demon, the Namekian, and the Scion, and move over. I look at all 3 warily, finding it highly unnerving that I can't sense their power levels. Hey, new guy, what's your name? The Scion asks. It's KLL. I reply. KLL? No, I mean your real name. He replies, laughing. Real name? I don't follow. I answer, confusion setting in. Yeah, your real name? You're a gamer, right? He asks. What? So let me get this straight. All 3 of you are gamers as well, and you've all 3 played through multiple times? I ask. That's bullshit. You've got a huge advantage. I mean, yeah, I guess. The Scion who turns out to be named Mike replies. But only me, really. Logan here is at a huge disadvantage, and you don't have to worry about fighting Dan this time around at all. What do you mean? I ask, turning to Logan the Namekian. So man, let me say one day you're going to have, he says, looking off into the distance for a moment before twitching. An idea. That idea is going to seem amazing. But it isn't, and it won't be, and it'll actually really fuck you up, okay? I am Mike. I ask, looking back at the Scion. Well, you see, Logan here decided that he'd try playing a Namekian on the next playthrough, as he'd learned that he could absorb other Namekians much like Piccolo did with Nail. Mike answers. That's right, but you see, you absorb enough of them and the life energy somehow keeps them going, Logan says, twitching after nearly every word. They're all still in there, talking, screaming, begging me, please, please let me out, let me out, let me out, let me out, let me out. He trails off, continuing to whisper to himself. Okay, what the fuck? I ask, is he saying he absorbed all the Namekians? All of them. That's right, Billy. I'd suggest we all learn from his mistake, and not repeat it. Dan says, finally speaking up. What did Mike mean that I wouldn't need to fight you? Aren't you participating? I ask. Dan smirks, his tail flicking slightly. No, I won't be participating. I killed Beerus during this playthrough, and Whis made me the new god of destruction. So while you won't be facing me, you will be facing my champion, so to speak. The monster things? I ask. Pfft. The monster, he says. Dan laughs. Do you truly not recognize him? Not really. I reply, looking over at the giant of a beast. He's mildly familiar, I suppose. It's his first playthrough, Dan, remember? He probably hasn't made that mistake yet. Mike says, before turning towards me. That's Omega Seze, the Gold Star Dragon. Okay, again, what the fuck? I exclaim. What the hell have you guys been up to? But I would let you out if I could, I swear I would. I'm sorry, please stop screaming. Logan screams out suddenly, startling us all. There is a moment of silence before we continue on. Us. Dan laughs. What about you? How did you get Broly on your side? I've played through 5 times, and not once did I manage that. And I've tried everything. Broly? I ask, getting nods in return. He came to us on planet Vegeta after Sana went mad. Some other things happened, and eventually we became friends. Interesting. I always leave planet Vegeta in my first year now, so I must miss that event. Mike says. Excuse me, everyone? One of the Grand Ministers says. It's time for the battle to begin. Please return to your group, and await transport to the arena floor. Hey, Billy. Mike says as I turn to leave. Win or lose, it's just a game, alright? It's hard to learn that on your first playthrough, as we all know. We all eventually end up back here for the tournament, so just do your best, and don't lose heart. Either way, we'll see you again eventually. There seems to only be about 20 of us, from what I've seen, so we'll meet up again someday. Thanks, Mike. See you in a bit. I reply before I fly back to my platform. What did you talk about, KLL? Broly asks as I land near him. Those 3 I spoke with are like me. The video game ability. I reply, looking down at the expanse of land far below. Be wary of the Scion, the Namekian, and the dragon. Is the dragon like you as well? He asks, looking at him. No, he's like Omega Purunga, but created from the Dragon Ball's Muri fixed. He's going to be insanely strong. I answer. Did you talk to anyone? Yes, I spoke with my daughter. He answers, pointing slightly across. In their timeline, she married Bara and took over the Scion Empire. Oh, that must be the timeline Omega Purunga spoke of. I reply, why isn't Bara here? Majin Buu absorbed him, much like he did in our own timeline. Sana wants him dead like you want our version dead. Broly says. Makes sense, I reply. Did you learn anything else? The Scion on their team, the video game player? He asks. Yeah, I ask as well. He is like me. Broly answers. Sana says that he has almost perfect control of the legendary form, but can still lose control at times. That's why they both don't have tails. She said that he told her that attempting to use the Oozuru form would kill them, and most likely a large part of the galaxy. Shit, alright. At least that tells us it wouldn't work for you either. I reply. It's time. Good luck, and may the best timeline win. With a flash of white light, we were on the battlefield. Planet Scion. A small blob of pink, no larger than the eraser on a graphite stick, stuck to the side of a transport container begins to wiggle. After several moments, it quickly expands until it's the size of a tall humanoid creature. Another few seconds, and his features color over, leaving a fully functioning copy of Majin Buu standing in the heart of the new capital. He smirks, looking left and right, wondering where he should begin. He senses a life form nearby and quickly heads that way. As he steps out onto the busy spaceport, a loud klaxon begins ringing. First in the local area, and then swiftly outward. I wonder, Majin Buu thinks, peering around. As he heads towards the largest group of energy close by, a bright blue blur smashes into him, knocking him back and through several containers. Another blue blur, another smash, and he's high up in the air, his face dented, confusion running rampant. As soon as he face heals, he yells, "Who would dare?" I would, Majin Buu. He hears from behind him. He whips around, spotting a female Scion about 10 feet away. The most striking thing about her is her glowing blue hair and aura. Who the hell are you? Majin Buu asks, considering his options. My name is Lucia, Majin Buu. I'm part of the Planet Defense Force. PDF for short. Lucia says, cocking her head to the side. You know, you're not as strong as I thought you would be. How dare you? I can sense your strength, and you're barely 10% stronger than I am. Majin Buu replies. Oh, Lucia exclaims. You can sense God Kai? She looks puzzled for a moment, before continuing. I guess that makes sense. You're technically as old as the universe, and who knows who all you've absorbed. Either way, though, it doesn't matter that I'm only a little stronger than you, because I'm not alone. She says, as 3 other blue-blazed figures join her in the sky. Our new king made this group to fight off Beerus if need be. But killing you will be a nice bonus for his return. Another 2 figures, then 5, then more and more and more, till the sky around them was filled with hundreds. In the end, Majin Buu didn't stand a chance.